Welcome back to the program. We are talking drug use. We are very happy to have with us Senior Superintendent Lloyd McAlpin, Organized Crime, Narcotics and Firearms Bureau. Also of the Bureau, we have Assistant Superintendent Vernley Gift. And gentlemen, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. I want us to start off talking a little bit about the role of the TTPS and the Bureau as it pertains to drugs. Thank you.
Right, sure. Now, the OCNFB is an important part of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We were re-established in 1984. Right. Since then, we've changed names a few times. However, the functions remain the same. So we focus on some hard policing, which is dealing with guns and drugs, taking them off the streets. For the last year, just some basic stats for the year so far, we've had 842.62 kilograms of marijuana taken off the streets and 195.46 kilograms of cocaine so far for the year. We also deal with the demand reduction for drugs, and coming out of that, you have some new trends being set. Part of our core functions as the Organized Crime, Narcotics and Firearms Bureau is to establish with partner agencies like the National Drug Council, NADAP, and these agencies, we partner with them to go out and ensure that if you will, ensure that there's not a market for drugs in Trinidad and Tobago. So our points, we work on hard policing as well as demand reduction.
In terms of dealing with the supply and with the demand, I'm wondering what are some of the new trends that you're seeing starting to arise?
Some of the new trends that we have seen developed has to do with an increase in marijuana use. As mentioned in the news conference last week, we have discovered, although this is not a new thing, certainly to Trinidad and Tobago, it is more so in the US and other developed countries, but we are seeing prevalence of it in Trinidad and Tobago, is the whole aspect of brownies and cookies. We have known before that these are some of the method of use for persons who are using marijuana in particular. But within recent years, we have seen where this has developed into a trend in itself. We also recognize that there is a new substance being sold on the market with regards to mushrooms, or what you call magic mushrooms. And the danger of this substance has to do with the chemical psilocybin, which is found in the substance itself. We did some research and we realized that this chemical in particular could be very hazardous to young people in particular, who are target groups from what we have recognized today. And so we just saw it fit that we need to partner with our stakeholders in the demand reduction area, that is the National Alcohol and Drug Abuse Preventative Program, NADAP, as well as the National Drug Council, to ensure that we go out into the community, go out into the society, and educate young people in particular about these new trends that we have seen being infiltrating our society.
But just before we continue, Assistant Superintendent Gift, you said that these magic mushrooms can be hazardous, especially to the target grouping. But what are some of the implications? What are some of the effects? Why are they hazardous?
Well, if I may just check my notes here. The effect on the mind has to do with a psychological consequence of psilocybin use include hallucinations and an inability to discern fantasy from reality. Panic reactions and psychosis also may occur, particularly in a user ingest in large dose. So the thing is, it is that young people in particular may be ignorant with regards to the effect of this drug in particular. And so it is dangerous for them because of the fact that if it puts you in a hallucinated mode where you are thinking that things that are just fantasy is reality. You find that people may want to try things that on a normal mind they would not have been able to do. And the senior superintendent has gave me an excellent example of someone in particular that we had interviewed, where he was sitting on a chair and he said that after using the drug, he feels like if he was elevating to the ceiling and the door was opening and closing. And we are saying that when people find themselves in this position, it's dangerous, especially in particular where they may be on the road driving and the effect of this drug is taking place. And we know of the carnage that is taking place on the road in particular. So these are just some of the effects that we have discovered that the chemical in the mushrooms creates to young people.
Okay. Now, Senior Sup, I'm wondering, what are some of the reasons you think are causing this rise or different ways that these drugs are being used?
The drugs are easily available on the internet. In some countries, they're not. A matter of fact, we are now doing the research in Trinidad in respect of the mushrooms themselves. The chemical ingredient in the mushroom is mentioned on the Schedule 2 of our drug laws. However, it doesn't mention the mushrooms or the plant that contains the drug. So it's easily available on the internet and people are ordering it in. We have some people actually planting it here as well, as they are advised on the internet. Coming out of this as well is the new trends. Of course, everybody gets to view anything in the world on YouTube, so that the styles, the fashions, the trends emanate from things that are happening.